These are all the books that I read in 2025. Hello guys, this is my first book video of this year. I read 15 books in total. Most of them I have the physical copy. There's one that I never bought the physical copy and I just read it on my Kindle. So you will have to forgive me for not being able to actually show it. But the rest I have in front of me, and it's not as big as 2024, but it is still an intimidating stack when I look at it. So yeah, let's just get into it. Oh, also, I'm in a wheelchair. You can't really see because of how low it sits, but I am in a wheelchair. I didn't mention it in my last video when I probably should have, because my last video was all about why I disappeared, and the wheelchair is part of the reason. So for those of you who are wondering how I get around now, a wheelchair. I roll myself around in a wheelchair. That's how I get around. Anyway, let's just get right into it. So I started last year strong. I read A Court of Silver Flames. It took me about a month to finish it. But like, it's a thick one, so it took me a minute. I read it. I got done with it. I liked it. I did like it. I am a little sad that Feyre's story is kind of over and we had Nesta instead. But you know what? It was fine. I still got into it. I still really liked it. There were shocks throughout this whole book, but it was good and I liked it. And I think I gave it 4 out of 5. I either gave it a 4 or a 5. I can't remember. But it was good. And it sits on my shelf with the rest of the ACOTAR books, and every time I look at it, I'm very proud that I finished the entire series so far. I heard that there was another book coming up, but I don't know if that's true or not. But as of now, I finished, and I am proud of myself for it, because to me, that's a really big accomplishment, because these books were not small. The next book that I ended up reading was Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton. This one wasn't my favorite of hers, but it was a pretty easy, it's really small, so it was a pretty easy read. I got through it pretty quickly. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun reading through Sibby's eyes, and she's getting 2 books, 2 like official books. This is more of like a novella for her, but I'm excited to read those as well whenever they come out. But this one was good. I think I gave it a 3 or a 4. Nothing really stood out to me other than her craziness, which is part of why I love her so much, because she's crazy and I love that for her. Like, good for her. I also read Phantom by H.D. Carlton. That's the book that I read on my Kindle because I do not have a physical copy of it. But I read it. I was a little disappointed, if I'm being honest. I honestly thought that we were going to get a scene, like the scene of Gigi's passing and what exactly went down, even though we all pretty much know what went down. I would have loved to have been able to like be there and witness it for myself, you know? So I was a little sad that that wasn't in the book, but the romance was good, the story was good, it was fun, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was cute. It was really cute. And I liked it. It was fine. I think for me the cat and mouse duet are still my favorites of hers. I honestly don't think anything's gonna top that for me personally. But I could also just eat my words with her next book. Who knows? I still love her writing. I'm still a big fan, and I still plan on buying more of her books. So it was just, Phantom was just a little disappointing for me. But a lot of people really liked it. So take my opinions with a grain of salt. These are my opinions for a reason. Not everyone is going to agree with me. I should have said that at the beginning of the video, but I'm saying it now, so it counts for something. Twisted Lies by Anna Wong. I ran to Barnes & Noble's to get this book. I remember last year when I found out that it was in stock, because I had been going for months trying to get my hands on this book, and everywhere I went, they didn't have it. And I decided one night to check Barnes & Noble, and they had it. So I made my fiance at the time take me after he got off work. And my cousin was visiting too. So it was me, him, and my cousin that ran to Barnes & Noble to get it. And it was the last one that they had. So I got so lucky. And I was so excited to read it. And it did not let me down. It was really good. I liked it. I actually enjoyed all of the books in the series. And I think they were all fantastic in their own way. This is my least favorite of the series. I think my favorite is Twisted Love, but this one was really good too. They all were good. This one was good. This one was also the biggest one out of them all. They each kept getting bigger and bigger, kind of like ACOTAR. Each book just got bigger and bigger, except for the novella towards the end of that series, but it's fine. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It was good. It was really fun to read. And I also just really like the cover with the butterflies and the jewels and stuff. It was nice. It's nice. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I went into it. I reread and read for the first time the Empyrean series. I reread Fourth Wing, which we all know I love it. Favorite fantasy. Sorry, ACOTAR. This is my favorite. I love ACOTAR. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted. I love ACOTAR. But this book has dragons. You can't beat dragons. I love it. I love the relationship with Taryn and Darna and Violet. I love their little relationship and their little conversations that they have. I love this book. It is 5 out of 5 is not enough. This is a great book. So yeah, I read it. I cried. I love it. And then I reread Iron Flame also. Same emotions. I love it. It's heftier by a lot. But I loved it. I ate it up like I always do with these books. It was so good. I loved it. This book was just amazing. I loved it. I like how it picked up after the events of the first book, and there was no weird time jump in between. I loved that so much. Because I hate when they do that and then you feel like you're missing a lot of information that happened in between. And it's like, well, what all actually happened? But no, I loved Iron Flame. Fourth Wing, I think, is still my top in the series, but Iron Flame was really good. And then I went ahead, I did it. I broke my own heart, and I read Onyx Storm. I can't officially say that I have fully recovered from this book yet, because I still think about it in the back of my mind, and I'm like, now I have to wait for the next book, and I don't have patience. I am not a patient person. If you have met me in real life and you know who I am, you know that I'm not a patient person. Me and patience do not mix. I've been working on it. It is something that my health has taught me is really important. I've been working on it, but I do not like being patient. I like knowing everything right here, right now. I like having the information that I need and not having to wait for it. I'm sorry. That's how I am. And when it comes to taking action, baby boy, I do not wait to take action. I take action immediately. Being patient is not my strong suit. And I should not have read this, but I needed to know what everyone was talking about. So I read it. And I cried. When I finished it, it put me in such a bad mood. the end the ending of this book put me in a terrible mood for the rest of the day. I may or may not have picked a fight that day because I was in a bad mood. I'm sorry. I have an attitude problem sometimes. What are you gonna do, fight me? That was a joke. I'm sorry. Do not fight me. I don't condone violence. But I was moody when I finished it. My mood had tanked because what was that ending? Now that I've had time to process and it's been almost a year since I read it, I'm like, okay, I understand now. But at the time, I was so emotional. And a lot was going on at the time. But honestly, what was going on was nothing compared to the shitstorm that happened at the end of last year. Whew, nothing could have prepared me for that. If you're confused, my last video, I talk about it. I don't go into details. Privacy. Just know December 2025 sucked and it was the worst. Also, like, the end of November is also mixed in with that. And then I read Ricochet. Carry on. So the Addicted Calloway series, I am slowly getting through. Very, very slowly. I think every year I'm gonna try to read at least one book from the series, because I'm a slow reader and there's other books that catch my attention. I'm really a feeler when I read. When I pick my next book, I'll have like 5 books lined up and I won't even pick one of them. I'll pick whatever I see on the shelf that matches the vibe that I want. But I read Ricochet. It's a little novella. It's cute, simple. I did like it. I liked it a lot. When I got into it, I kind of didn't remember too much about Addicted to You, but I feel like I remembered enough to be able to like keep up with it, and then they would mention stuff that happened in the last book and I'd be like, oh yeah, that happened. I do plan on reading the next book. What is it? Addicted for Now. I had to look on my shelf because I couldn't remember if it was Addicted for Now or Addicted After All, but I think Addicted After All is like the last book, I think. But yeah, I read Ricochet. I think I gave it a 4. I think. It was really small and it was really just about Lily talking to someone and going to therapy. Girl needs it, but don't we all? That's my stand on it. So yeah, I think therapy is good for everyone, like whether you have actual issues going on or not, or you just need to talk. I think it's good. It's good to talk to someone. So no therapy shaming. I'm glad that she's getting help. And then I read It Ends With Us because I wanted to watch the movie because I heard everyone talking crap about the movie and I wanted to see how bad it truly was. So I picked up the book and I actually read the book really quickly. I read it within the span of like 2 days, which is rare for me, unless it's If He Had Been With Me. It's gonna take at least a week for me to get through a book. But If He Had Been With Me, I will read that in one sitting and I will bawl my eyes out. And I have been itching to reread that book. So I might do that. I don't really want to read romance right now, but I might make an exception for that book. Even though I'm currently technically reading 2 books right now. This is my first time reading 2 books at once. And I feel like I'm doing better than I thought, but I don't think I'll ever do it again. I'm also not that far into either one of them, and they're both dark romance. So yeah, I will make videos on them both. I'm reading Little Stranger, and I'm reading the second book to the Souls trilogy, Her Soul for Revenge. But I'm buddy reading that one with my cousin, so that's why I'm reading 2 books in one go, because one is for me personally and the other one is for me and my cousin, because we like to read the same books and talk about them. So yeah, I don't need to explain myself to you. I don't know why I am, but I read It Ends With Us. It was okay. The only reason why I read Colin, I literally only have 2 of her books, this one and November 9th. The only reason why I read her books is because for me, they're easy to get through, and like her writing is just so simple that like I can just get through it pretty quickly. So if I'm wanting a speed read moment, hers are ones that I can go. But again, I only have 2 of her books because I know the book community doesn't like her. So I'm like trying to fit in. I'm one of you guys, but I do own 2 of her books. And there are a couple more on my list that I have thought about getting, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I feel like it, honestly. Because me reading and buying books purely is a vibe thing for me. Like, I have to be in the mood and I have to really like want it and vibe with the story that the book has. So yeah, that's a little something. If you didn't know about me, now you do. I'm very like emotionally involved whenever it comes to books because I like it that way. And then I read Love and Gelato. This one was also really easy for me to get through. It was really cute. I do plan on getting the other 2 books of this. I think it's just a trilogy. Love and Luck and Love and Olives. I do plan on getting them. This one, super easy to get through. It was another like quick read. It was so cute though. The romance in this one was adorable, and it was so sweet and innocent, and they were so cute, and I just like I wanted to hug them both so much because they were adorable. And I just remember being really fond of this book because it was so good. It was so cute, and I was just like I think I gave it a 5. I think I did because it was really good. And then I read Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I had really high expectations and it didn't meet them all, but it was entertaining. It was good. I was also just in a real bad fog mentally last year with like reading and stuff, and I didn't have that spark because so much was going on in my life to where like reading just kind of felt like a chore, and I don't want that. I want to pick up a book and read because I want to read. I don't want to feel like I have to. And that's kind of what I was feeling when I was reading this. I did like the story and I did enjoy it, and I might go back and reread it when everything is better and when I'm back in a good state to read. But I did like it. I did give it, I think I gave it a 4. I think I did. I think the lowest I would give this book is a 3, but that feels too low. So we'll say I gave it a 4. I was not expecting the shark scene to happen so soon though. Like, the shark scene was like the beginning of the book. And I was taken aback because I thought it was going to be like halfway towards the end, and it was like beginning, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? So yeah, that is one thing that I do remember. Also, like, just like the reveal at the end was crazy, but I did see it coming because I was suspecting something like that to happen. So when it got revealed, I was like, that makes sense, that checks out. This next book, Song of Achilles, I read it. I was so excited to read it. I had seen so many people talk about it and love it, and I did not love it. I know it's a very popular book and everyone loves it. I did not. I think for now, it's a 2 out of 5. It's not for me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know everyone loves that book, but it just wasn't for me, and I don't think I'm gonna read the other book that this author came out with. Which sucks, because I was so excited to read it. I thought that I was gonna love it because everyone else did, and it was a total letdown. But it wasn't bad. It just didn't grasp my attention, and again, I was also dealing with a lot. My grandma's health around the time that I read this book was not looking so good, and so my mind was also just other places, so that could also be why I wasn't vibing with it, just because mentally I was somewhere else and I wasn't like there with them in the story. So again, take my opinions with a grain of salt, especially from this book on, because emotionally I was all over the place last year. So if I rated one of your favorite books lower than you like, I'm sorry, but just keep it in mind, it's my opinion, and opinions can change. So who knows, in like 3 years, if I revisit these books, my opinion could change. And then I read Unite Me, but I read them in the order that you're supposed to. So I read Destroy Me first, and then I read Unravel Me, and then I read Fracture Me. So I did do it in the order, and I'm gonna continue doing it this way. There we go. It was good. You don't get Juliet's perspective with these, which I wasn't expecting at first, but then when I realized it, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I actually like it. Destroy Me, you get Aaron's perspective of the events of the first book, the end of the first book. And then Fracture Me, you get the events, the last events of Unravel Me. So it was interesting seeing Aaron's mind and Adam's mind, because you get both of their perspectives, which was really cool, and I really like that, and I hope that the other novellas do the same thing. It was good. I think I gave them both a 3 out of 5 because they are really short, so, but they were good. And I read Unravel Me. It, I think, got a 4, I think. I really like Juliet's story, and I cannot wait to see her evolve even more, and I think she's starting to kind of come into her own. I know it ended where like everyone thinks that she's not alive, but she is. So I'm interested to see what takes place in the next book and what happens, and yeah, I think it's definitely a book that I'm going to try to read this year. 100%. I want to. So, yeah, but I'm enjoying the Shatter Me series so far. I like it. Then I read Five Survive. I heard a lot of mixed opinions on it. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I liked it. I thought it was good. I was not expecting the ending. I really wasn't, and I was really shocked, and my jaw dropped, and I was like, what? I suspected that something was going on with Red and that there was a secret of hers, but I never would have thought that her best friend's mom was involved, and to know like Red's story and what happened to her broke my heart. So it was really good. I liked it so much. I thought it was so fun. They were all trapped in an RV, and one of them went absolutely crazy, and I was ready for him to I was ready. And when it happened, I cheered a little bit because he was getting on my nerves. He was so annoying. But yeah, I really liked it. I will probably revisit this book again and again and again because I found a lot of joy reading it, and I love the mystery of it all, and murder mystery, even though this wasn't a murder mystery, this was who has a secret mystery, but I love those dark mysteries. which I'm gonna say this was kind of. So yeah, it was really good. And then I read The Day After the Party. I felt like this was not for my age range, but it was a thriller. It was good. It was good. I did make a video on it. I made a video on all of these books, I think. But I did rate it a 3, I'm pretty sure. Purely because I do think that I'm a little too young for this book still. But it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. And when I'm older and I want to revisit books, this will probably be one that I'm willing to revisit and re-rate. And I'll probably, hopefully, relate to the characters a little bit more. So I'll be able to get into it even more. And hopefully at that time I don't remember what all happened. So we'll see. But it wasn't bad. I really do think that I'm not the age for it, the age range. I really don't think it was for people in their early 20s. So yeah. And then the last book that I read and finished last year, You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glasgow. This was a really good one. This was another one that I finished pretty quickly. I think it only took 3 days, I think. I read it pretty quick and I loved it. I need to get How to Make Friends with the Dark. And what was the other one? Girl in the Glass, or Glass Girl, or it's something about a girl in glass. But I need to get those because I love her writing and I love how she portrays these really serious, heavy topics into books and into these characters, and you get really invested and you really feel for the characters, and you also feel a sense of reality with it. And it's like you can relate because either you've gone through it or you know someone who's gone through it, and it's just like, I understand what you're going through in a sense because this thing happened to me and I dealt with it in a similar sense. Or you have it's got a nice sense of reality, even though the people in this book are really rich and a lot of us are not rich. Can't really relate with that, but like the core of it you can relate to. So it was really good. I think I gave it a 5 because it was really impactful for me and I loved it. I really felt a connection with it and the characters, and I didn't want anyone to get hurt and I wanted them all to be protected. But yeah, it was really good. So these are all of the books that I read in 2025. 2025 was a year of pain and suffering for me, and I'm really hoping that 2026 can be the year for healing, and I hope that everything can get better by the end of this year, and I hope that I can read more this year than I did last year, and I can find the joy in reading again. I'm starting to get the spark a little bit with one of the books that I'm reading. I am enjoying Little Stranger. I'm just gonna be really slow with it because it is a romance and I'm just getting out of a relationship and it's all fresh. So I'm gonna give myself some time and then I'm gonna get back into it, and hopefully when I decide to get back into it I can just zoom through it because I'm really deep down in my core craving just a reading session where I just zoom through a book. So yeah, I don't know, but we'll see next year what I accomplish with reading and my reading goal On Goodreads, I have 10 books, but my personal goal is 20. I just feel like 10 is more reasonable with everything that's been going on lately. But I do hope that that can change, and I do hope that I can at least get close to 20. So we'll see. But that's it for this video. These are all the books that I read, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!